I actually have it. Sorry.
Oops. There you go, folks. Caught you. Okay. Happy Wednesday, December 13th. We have 2 more weeks after today before the end of the year. We will be having, as of right now, our Wednesday calls next week and the week after, the 20th and the 27th. Right? Has anything changed? Does anybody have anything? Donna, there's no special time for traveling or anything on those Wednesdays like we did for Thanksgiving, right?
I don't believe so. Anybody going to Dallas, there are specials, especially Southwest. So check those out if you haven't gotten your plane tickets yet, or if you're thinking about going. Be sure and check that out. We want as many as can get there to come, because that mindset training that Rory does is fabulous.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we have a special today from Don. You know, everything, sales, marketing, your life all has to do with questions. Whether you ask yourself questions, what am I doing here? Or you're asking questions of other people. Questions are very important. When it comes to sales, you want to ask questions that you will already know the answers to. But today, Don is going to go dive deeper into this for you. So let's get Don going, and then if we have any questions later on, then that would be a good time to go further into that. Okay, Don, take it away.
Well, let me see if I can get technology working for me today. Okay. And everybody see that okay?
Check.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Whoop. Why do I have Skype up there?
I don't see it. Oh, yeah, you do too.
It's
I
our
see
updated
Skype.
announcement. Da-da-da-da-da.
Hang on,
If you-
people.
And if you didn't know, there's the announcement.
I guess that was for you to remind yourself, Don.
That's for all of us that are not here.
That's right.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Great balls of fire.
Technology.
Don't worry, Don. We're all in the same boat.
Yep.
Yep. I'll get it here in a second.
Well, at least your sharing screen works.
Yeah. I can get that done any day of the week, usually. And of course, go down here. And everybody see that okay?
Same thing that we've been saying.
No, still says, yep.
Skype.
Says Skype.
Still, yep.
saying that.
Yep.
Try
Okay.
stop sharing and then start sharing again on the.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be the easy way to do it. There.
Oh,
Can everybody see that one now?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. So today's topic is questions to help grow your business. I hope I got this shared okay. I guess we'll figure it out at the end of the meeting, but I think I shared it correctly. If not, we'll find out. So everybody here, whether they're new, old, or indifferent, should be blogging with a purpose. You shouldn't just get on your blog and create your pages and move on. You should look at them and think about them and have a purpose behind what the page says. So to do that, you actually have to sit and think about what is going on your pages and what your outcome is supposed to be. The thing about blogging is you want to plan a page to develop a storyline. In other words, the headline, it's kind of like writing a newspaper article. If you don't have a good headline, people aren't going to click on your page and read your story. So what you need to do is think about what your keywords are and plan on putting them on the top of your page and use them to draw people into a story. Okay, so you can do that by one of two ways. You can do that by looking at something that generates general sales content, or right now we should be using our Christmas, the 5 things for Christmas that you probably should have, as well as other content for the days that come up of the year. You can also submit to a calendar that will give you specific things happening on specific days, like National Cat in the Hat Day or National Sucker Day, or the big one that we should be interested in is National Wine Day. I happen to remember that because a classmate of mine's birthday is on that day. So I tease her about 2 weeks in advance that her day is coming. And I've done it for the last 3 years. And the first couple of days, she's always going, okay, what are you teasing me with? And I'll say, well, you ought to remember it's on your birthday. And she finally gets it. Okay. So you can tease people with that if you like, if you know what's coming up, by using Facebook or TikTok or whatever, and putting a teaser out there saying it's coming, but don't, reveal what it is. And so if you create a page like that, you can always change it easily to suit the season, the sales cycle, or the event. Okay. I know most of us here don't leave our Christmas stuff up most of the year, but if we have offshoots that we can use, say for Easter, for graduation or whatever, we should just put those pages aside and use them for whatever events coming up. That way you'll be ahead of it and on time. Don't forget that they're there, and know what to have a calendar by your side or on your computer and look and see what events coming up. You could also always use National Leprechaun Day for March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, if you like. So if you talk to Mama Chief, the last time I heard her talk, she said she was on her PBS every day, changing it because she was not always satisfied with it. And she was reviewing the content with it and updating it daily. Okay. That's commitment.
Yeah.
And the next question is, are you satisfied with the current results you're getting? And everybody's answer to that one ought to be no. If you are, you're not in the right business. Okay. You should always be striving for more results on your page. So when you lead the reader into your page, what do you want them to do while, during, or after reading your piece? Okay. Are the pictures bright enough? Are they in the proper order? Do you have a buy here button? Do you have many sentences that says, for more information, click here? That's what you should always do. If you are leading the people down your page, sooner or later, preferably in that first paragraph, you should provide the link that says buy here button or see here for more information. It should be highlighted and it should be linked to either your page or the item that you're trying to sell. So if you have Response Magic, you should have an email join list. If not, get on it. We're probably going to be updating our Response Magic on Saturday, as far as I know. If you have more than one thing listed on your page, make sure that the most relevant one is listed first, or if there are two or more, make them equal and give them page priorities through placement on your page. You should also always lead with the one that you want to sell the first. If you have other things cross-marketed there, go for it and either give them equal opportunity or list them like a 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. What are you doing to promote your pages? Okay, advertising is always the big one. And due to Larry Norville and his piece that he gave us last week, here is the Google. Oh, yeah, right. Here is the ad spreadsheet, if I can get it to come up. Anyway, if you click on it, it will bring up the ad spreadsheet that you can do overseas and spread your word throughout the continent and around the world now that you have a Google Translator on your site. Okay, this will take you right to that. It's also found on Lori's Where Can I Find sheet as well. That's the mega advertising spreadsheet. If you're not using social media, why not? You might be overwhelmed at this time, and that's okay. You should probably pick one. The big three are Facebook, WhatsApp, and YouTube. Okay. If you already have Canva, you have a free video maker there at Canva. If you don't, use this one right here, and it will give you a free video maker there that you can do YouTube with and get out there. They don't have to be elaborate. They can be a minute, minute and a half, and see what works for you. If you make one and you're not getting the views, change it up. Start from the back and go forward, or start from the front and go to the middle and then go back. Whatever you need to do, make them exciting. Don't make them 10, 15 minutes because people get bored with it. If you're into wine, use our #1 anchor offer for wine tasting events. If you're doing a wine tasting event, you should always remember the 5 S's for throwing and get together. The first S is C. Actually put the wine in a glass that's appropriate and look at it and see what color it is and texture it is and what it actually does when you swirl it, because you're going to swirl it to aerate it. You always want to aerate your wine. Stick your nose in there to see what it actually tells you about the wine without actually sipping it yet. When your nose is satisfied, take a sip, let it swirl around in your mouth, and find what taste sensations or cues come out of the wine. Savor that moment so that you can tell everyone else around you what you taste. Part of a wine tasting event is telling people how things taste and what they feel like and the flavors that come out in the wine. If you do that, you'll probably have 5 or 6 or 8 more people sign up that day because you've shared the thing that is most important to you. The biggest advertising media there is family, friends, word of mouth. Okay. If you have a student that has bought something that can't keep from telling you how great it is, get an endorsement from them. Okay. Put it on your site. Tell them to tell everybody what they told you and see if their sales go up, right? Word of mouth. If you're standing in line purchasing your groceries, like you should be, you should have your barcode on your phone. So if anybody asks what you do, you bam, it's right there. All you have to do is scan it. Okay. That's the big one while you're waiting there, because you're not doing anything else. You might as well do some advertising. If you're in the social media places, the best thing to do, if you can find an influencer, those are the people that tend to influence the people that are in the blog that you're associated with, or the advertising thing that you're influenced with. And people tend to see influencers as people that, I hate to say this, know it all. Okay. They don't know it all, but they're like movie stars. They have an influence on what people say and do on social media. So they have credibility within a certain niche. Okay. This person uses his authority to connect with a large audience on various social platforms. Some of them are bigger on say YouTube or Facebook than Pinterest or TikTok. Okay. The average internet user spends more than 2 hours daily on social media. Okay. I'm pretty sure most of us spend a lot more than that here. Okay. So what do you want them to do with that 2 hours? They might as well be reading something that you're putting out there and buying something from you and make sure that you're getting the income that you want. So as a savvy marketer, you can partner with these influencers to promote their brands or your brands. Sometimes these individuals are celebrities using their social handles to influence purchasing decisions, while in others they're famous for being influencers. Finding them is easy. Type in influencers on fill in the blank and hit the button. Okay. They will change day by day, week by week. 1 week they might be in, next week they'll be out. So if you find one that's influenced by a letter that you send them, offer them something of value or even a free sample and use them to influence people so that they'll read your blog and buy your product. So if you're going to do that, make sure the items on your blog are figured prominently. Okay. Make sure it's front and center. Okay. Don't have it to the right, to the left, unless there's something there that you want people to see that's on that side of the page. Okay. Has it been upgraded, improved, or reconfigured lately? If it has, use the latest and greatest wording. Okay. Everybody wants to have the latest and greatest thing that they can find. Okay. If it's on sale, make sure that all the current sales links on your pages are correct. Go check them out once a week. It only takes a minute per page, but it gets boring after a while. So make sure that they're correct. If you're in Velveeta, make sure that you have the current specials listed on your biohacking page, and make sure that your links are working. Lately, some of the updates have gone over some links and have made them non-responsive. Takes about 5 minutes or so to upgrade those, but doesn't hurt to check them once in a while. Should be checking them at least once a month anyway. You can also use the broken link checker, and that will be the fastest way to do it. Excuse me. And we all should be looking for results to help us focus our work. Okay. If we have people reading our pages, but nobody's buying them, we're not telling the story or not completing the story, or we don't have a buy here button, or we don't have enough explanation on the page to lead people through. Okay. And that comes back to the headline. Okay. If we don't have a good headline with a good keyword in it, and it doesn't lead the reader to action, people are probably not going to keep reading your blog. So if people are actually reading your blog and following you, then that's great. Or are they just reading a few sentences and clicking around and becoming bored? That's not what you want. But The average is, I think, 7 clicks on a PBS before they leave. But what would you rather have? One person reading a page and making a thing current for them that they want, or have them clicking around the 7 pages and not come back? Okay, that's your choice. Get them involved enough that they want to buy something. Okay, if you haven't reviewed your content, review it. You don't have to go through it entirely. Just review a couple sentences and put in spice words and update it regularly. Sheila Matchett can tell you that's probably the key. If we have current or hot products, make sure that you cross market. Okay. Excuse me. Go down at the bottom of your page and reference to another thing that you want to market that ties in to the product that you're marketing. If you're using your QR codes properly, you can put a QR code at the bottom of the page that sends them to another page, and they'll be clicking on it with their phone going, hey, what's this? Okay. So never miss an opportunity to cross market something. If you have the CR meets currently, the thing that we're lacking on our blogs mostly is for our pets. If you go in the back office, they have dog food for $4.50 a pound. Okay. Cross market that on your steak page that you're selling the food with. And then when you get to your pet pages, cross market it back to the steaks that you're trying to sell and cross market it that way. Put a QR code there and people will go, what? And that's what you want. So to do that, you have to have valuable content. Does it present real value to the person that is reading the blog? If so, it should be easy to read. I have one student that I swear to God, she has a PhD in English because her sentence structure is it's kind of like Rory and his semicolons. She can make a sentence that's 42 words and we have to go break them up and we have to substitute big words in there for little words. Okay. Make sure that the person that's reading it doesn't come to a word that they don't know. Put a simpler word in there. So if we structure it right, we'll lead them through a story to an image. Okay. Make sure that your images are linked. If they're not, you're missing out on buy decisions. So will a reader actually learn something by reading your page?
The one
If
question I wanted to
not-
ask you, sorry, one question I wanted to ask you with that. Has that issue been resolved yet on WordPress about linking images?
Not sure.
So that's one thing to just take note of.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it was an issue, but they're working on resolving it.
As far as I know, I just got done redoing all my links. If you use the broken link checker, it will also check your images. So that's the easy way to do it. I haven't had any come up lately that were screwed up. Sometimes, I don't know, when you update WordPress, it does strange things. So you have and replace them and relink them. So as far as I know, mine are all working. That doesn't mean that everybody else is working. Depends on what server you're on, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good enough. As you were. Continue. Sorry, I just want to mention that.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're leading your reader through your page, your sentences and your paragraphs should be short and easy to read. The general rule is 8 sentences per paragraph and then a subheading, or another paragraph that's 4 or 5 lines and then a subheading, and make it easy and simple to read, because people aren't accustomed to reading through long articles and not understanding it. So when you get done, before you publish it, or after you publish it, depending on what your structure is, you want to go back through and look at the subheadings and make sure they're correct, and your pictures are correct, and your videos actually play and are easy to click through, and they get the desired results that you're looking for. So if you proofread it before you publish it, go through it and actually read it and see if it makes sense. If it doesn't, go back and restructure it and then publish it. Okay. Now, here's a word that most people will not recognize. Is there a listicle on your page? And the word is listicle, okay? And basically, that's a big word for a list of things on your page. That is a listicle. So you're welcome today. Everybody's learned something today.
Again, we learned something again. Every
Does
week there's
your-
something.
Does your page offer how-to articles for things like recipes? If you have favorites, you should have a recipe page out there, especially if you're into selling wine. Are your testimonials on your page like Velveeta? Okay. Remember this: content tells, stories sell. Okay. If you're reading an article and all of a sudden you come across a testimonial that says, this is the latest, greatest, and you want to buy it, and the person telling the story has credibility, guess what? People are more apt to buy the product. Excuse me again. Product reviews help a reader discover good things about an item's pros and cons. Okay. There isn't an item made out there that's perfect. If there is, I haven't found it. Okay. You might get one that you see on TV or from your blogs, and you get it and you're looking at it and going, man, this thing does whatever. It even tucks you into bed at night. Okay. But then the next night, you're looking at it going, wow, it doesn't do this. It was listed as doing this, but it doesn't quite work that way. So make sure that you're telling the good and bad about things. And you always want to accentuate the good and very few of the bad. Okay. That influences buyers' decisions. Make sure, excuse me, make sure that your category pages are current and concise. That means a category page should have one paragraph with active links that refer the reader to your sales pages. Okay. They're always changing. I have seen mine come and go, and my goodness, seems like every other time I log in, I need to change something, and that's not a bad thing. Okay. Make sure those category pages have functional links to your sales pages. Okay. And make sure that your page titles are tied into a pertinent keyword search. And there's a tool right here to do that with. Okay. For all the newbies out there, you can click on that and it will take you to a keyword search tool. Is your current advertising helping or hindering people searching for your product? Well, as long as we're on advertising, how many times a week are you devoting to advertising in the different forms? Okay. Here's a link to Classified for free. It's in Rory's RR 247 instructions. That will give you a lot of free sites. And the mega classified one I have up top will give you access to things around the world. Okay. How many posts on how many platforms are you using on social media? Okay. It should be 2 to 4 posts per week. Are you notifying your influencers? Have you followed up with your influencers to see if they're actually following you or even interested in the things that you're providing? consistency is the key over frequency. So if you just take one day a week and post all your ads, that's not very frequent. You want to break it up all through the week. So you want to be consistent throughout that week. We all have life that comes into play some days, and some days we don't get things done. So we'll do it tomorrow. We always have a student that backs out at the last minute. So if we're sitting there for 2 hours, go do advertising or your V marketing, one of the two. Have you checked your SEO, search engine optimization, to make sure that it is pulling things to influence people to come see your blog? Perform that keyword search. Don't just stick a word into content because you need to do a keyword search. And here's two of the big ones right here. I think most of you have Jaxi. If not, here's the SEMrush one that's free that you can use. I think both of them after a month are like $9.95, but it's well worth it if you have it. Okay. So while we're on the subject of reading, remember that the average reading ability of someone reading your page is that half of all American adults cannot read books that are written for 8th graders. Okay. Use common words. If you can't find them, I did an article a couple months ago about a thesaurus. Use a thesaurus or use Google. You can do it either way. Make sure that the person reading it doesn't run into big words that they can't understand, because that will lead them to clicking away. So always make it easy and concise. Okay. Answer questions directly through the content on the page. Focus on quality answers and not so much quantity, unless you have many questions there that needs answered. You can always go back and update the information. If you've sent an article out to somebody and the very next week it's also been updated, guess what? You can send them the same article and they'll read the updated portion, and that will help in your search engine optimization. Now, if you're new here and you're wondering, okay, I got it. I need to make things relevant and make sure that people stick around and read my PBS pages. So how long is it going to take to build an audience and gain traction for your pages? Well, that all depends, but more or less about 6 months after or more after you get started, you will build a following, and that's just normal results. They don't happen overnight. I wish they did, but it takes a while for people to get used to you talking and the way you write. And if they come back to your page, then you can stay focused and results will happen sooner or later. Okay. The most important thing that you should realize about your PBS is that somebody may have run across it just by accident and clicked on something that you have out there for an advertisement. Okay. Now, I noticed that this is pretty common anymore because people attention span is like 3 seconds. So they may visit your site just once and not come back. Okay. That's what we have Response Magic for. Make the most of that opportunity. Don't just have the capture box on the side of your page. Link it to page content as well. Rory went over that Saturday before last and how to do that, so that you can also have a link there to Response Magic on the page. Try as I might, I couldn't find it, but it's there, believe me. So the thing about blogging, it helps you connect with clients or buyers and provides them with valuable content. Okay. And if you have valuable content, people will trust you more. And when they trust you more, it will bring them back to your pages. That's what I have for today. Has anybody got any questions?
Excellent information. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. That's perfect.
That was great. Great, Don. Yeah, it was.
excellent,
Thank you.
Don. Yeah, we always enjoy having you, Don, because I mean you kind of bring some different information that we would never thought about, just the way that you think and then the way you organize it. It always gives us a different perspective, and it's really, I find a lot of times it's very straightforward, and this is how it is, which is great. It's perfect. You don't yeah, you don't usually have like a lot of graphics and stuff, which is good for those that really aren't into that stuff. So I mean the way that you present it is perfect.
Thank you.
Anybody?
Yeah. I have a link. Where do I share that now?
Yeah. If you share it in the chat, and then if you want to link people, then you can click on that link. So you'll need to click on the link, and then it'll then take you to the page, and then from there you can then save it to your bookmarks. So
well, this is kind of funny because I don't have a chat button anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh, huh?
It's under more, I think.
Well, it says share chat previews. No. Record on this computer, record the cloud captions. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. I have a quick update. For those of you that were on and saw Larry's Google Translate.
Yeah.
Please don't use the newer link that has the newer code that has the title of the translate. It takes up too much space. Also, Rory is going to be using that on all of the new PBSs. So he's going to incorporate that, but we don't want to have anybody use the heading at the top of the, so use the old widget code.
So
For those of
essentially,
you who were there.
So essentially, what we're saying is use it exactly the way Rory has laid out on the training page.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so only use that one. So
Yes.
Essentially, this is something Rory has approved, and when Rory approves something, he checks it and he gives us a page so we know exactly how to do it, and that way we have there's no need for us to go and mess around with it or change it the way we like it. When Rory gives us something to use it exactly the way he does, and that's why he does the training on it.
And don't add any other widgets that are new things until he's looked at it and approved it. So he loves this one. He likes the old widget better. We can't use the one with the heading on it. So if you have done that on your PBS already, in fact, Larry, if you're here, we probably want to take that video down and not share that anymore, because it'll be incorporated into the new PBSs already. And somebody might go off and do their own thing. So he'll be talking about that on Saturday.
Okay. Tom,
Yep.
you might want to take that video and put it as private on YouTube, just so nobody will watch it and change
last
their
week's
webpage.
Yeah.
last
Wednesdays.
week's. Yeah, just change it to private.
FYI, the reason why that was the translate was put in there is because you have to realize a lot of people just can't think beyond what they see. And the original translate just had English up there. Now, if somebody with a different country, they look at that, they won't know that that's a drop-down box to get their own language. So
I agree. I
But-
agree. The reason that he had that on it though was that number one is due to space. And it works with all the coding and stuff. It works better for them that way. And he brought up the point that at the moment, 97% of our followers are English. There's only like 3% total that are not English, but
next year
um,
we're going
it-
more global.
yep, but
Yeah.
it's available, and he wants to include it on there. For right now, they want to keep it with the first coding link. What else did he say? Hang on. But the Google Translate for the memes for ads and stuff, I would say go for that. Definitely. Um, don't be afraid to get in there, write a page, add a meme to it, and it translates everything. So he was real excited, Larry, especially with the information. It was a great find, and he is going to incorporate that on all the new PBSs.
Well, I just want to say that with the collaboration of Tom and Joel, it was, I would have to say it's all three of us, not just me,
Yeah.
that came up with that code. So
But it's
Um,
awesome. Thank you
Thanks,
all.
Larry. Yeah, thank you.
All of
Yeah,
you.
because Tom was one that said, "Oh, you know what? I had this on my page. I can find a link, and Larry can do the video." So it was a
Right.
collaboration. But I mean, it's all good. Like it's I mean, it really, that's what we are to Road 247 is. We are a team. We do a team effort. We collaborate together, and I mean, that's
And
that's how we work, right?
that's what mindset is all about. So what you're practicing already is what he's going to be training on in Dallas. So I congratulate all of you. I mean,
Yeah.
that was an awesome find. And that keep on with the collaboration like you guys do all the time. And everybody, start doing that with your teams, because not everybody has all of the information. All right. There's always something that somebody can contribute to the team that nobody's heard before or that nobody else has yet. So keep up the great work, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So just to let you know, if you were to take a meme and put it on your PBS, which you probably shouldn't be doing in the first place, but if you do, the translator does not translate the meme. Okay.
Right.
So you would only be translating those memes for your social media.
Right.
Okay. So if you're advertising to Italy, then you want to translate that meme first, make a copy of it, and then paste that into your advertising for Italy.
Right. Right. So like if you're, so in other words, if you're advertising a specific page, like for example the wine page in Italy, what you want to do in your ad. So if on your wine page you have a meme on your wine page, you would then want to create that meme in Italian or whatever language that they speak in Italy. You want to translate that, and then on your ad have that meme on your ads. That way, when they go to your page and they translate it to their language, they will see the meme in English on your page, but they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing that in the ad." Right? Does that make sense?
Maybe
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
good thing to do a separate training on
There you go.
creating ads and doing the memes.
There's
Connie
something
has her
that,
hand up. She has a question.
yeah,
Connie?
Yeah, I had just had a question about that translator. When I go in, it's always like English, but there is a thing that says select language. How come you can't get that to come up, select language?
That's a separate widget code, I believe, and that is what I don't know. Rory is we don't need to worry with it now. He doesn't want anything added to it except for what he's putting on there, what he's okayed. So please don't add anything else right now unless it goes through him first, like Larry did with the widget for the translator. And the updated code he doesn't want us using.
Okay, so the original code that we got from Rory when he originally was telling us about this, just leave it the way it is for now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
Isn't there's still more in that drop down, isn't there?
There's
Oh,
also a bunch of
yeah,
other
there
languages,
it's
yeah.
a select language and then it's
Yeah.
got all these different countries, but it also automatically says English. And I didn't know if it did that because I'm looking at my own site as a customer or if it comes up for them as select language.
Has
I
anybody
just-
played with that?
It just says
It'll say English. That's it.
yeah, and then it'll always say at the top. It'll always say in English, select language. So that's the only thing that does not change. So like, even if you go to a character based one, it'll still say a select language at the top.
You see, mine doesn't say select language at the top. I mean, it's at the top, but when you're on my site, it says English. It doesn't say
Right.
select language.
Correct. Yeah, and that's just how it is. The only so when you click on the drop down, that's where it'll say select language.
Okay.
And yeah,
You could always put a sentence on that home page that if you want a
Yeah.
different language, go to the language
true.
selection on the right.
That's true.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I
Yep.
love these trainings in the afternoon, guys. They're great.
You're welcome, Connie. Yeah, we love doing them. I mean, it's a blast doing them. It's fun teaching.
So
We
one
love,
thing,
we love having a guy's perspective on things when you're used to having teaching you
Right.
by females, but you gentlemen are rocking it.
Thank you. Thanks,
thank
Connie.
you.
Yes.
One thing
agree.
I wanted to add to that translation, I don't know if anybody noticed it, but I did come across it, that when you're translating, let's say a document, and you're putting in your page URL, like to wine or to the beef or brain food, whatever, that link is also translated into whatever language, like Italian, French, or whatever you're choosing. And when you go to click on it, it doesn't go to your home page or to the page you're referring to. It doesn't go anywhere. So you want to check that out. Get back to me too on it, people, and give me your feedback, because what I had to do is I had to change like I was doing some Spanish and I checked out the link and it didn't go anywhere. So everything in the Spanish ad was the Spanish language, but then I had to put the English link in there to my page. So you want to check that out too. Just like Don was saying, anyway, check out all your links. Make sure they work the way you want them to. You follow me on that?
No,
I see questions.
but I'll
Yeah,
I'll,
the URLs stay in English.
Yeah.
yeah, the URL, no matter what, it does not change because the URL
When
is
you're
always English.
translating it, the URL will change. So you have
No.
to specifically change that URL back to the English version. Just
No,
the URL.
so what do you mean by it? What do you mean by it'll change the URL? Because it won't change. The only reason why, well, at least the way I see it is, so if you're looking at it in a different language, you then copy that link and paste it into like a new tab, and then you then go to that link. It's going to be in the language that you viewed at previously, but if you paste it into a incognito window, you will see that it'll go to the English, the original language. Because that I mean that's
Yeah, but
that's
when people are reading the ad, okay, Like I put an ad out there in Spanish. Everything was in Spanish, blah, 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 blah. And then
Right.
go to this link, which is normally my English, page for more information. But when you translate the whole thing on your document so you can place it into a different language and use that language, it also translates the words that are in English in your URL. So by doing that, you click on the URL and it doesn't recognize our page. It just doesn't exist because the page is specifically in the English version. So what I had to
Right.
do was take that translated link out and put the original link in. Test that out, Joel.
Yeah, I
Don,
will
Larry,
do.
anybody.
I will. Yep,
And
I'll test it out for
let's
you.
get back to, maybe bring it up next week.
That's something
Absolutely.
to bring up Saturday if he touches on that. And if you have a solution where do you have to highlight the page? Maybe you could just highlight down, put the picture at the bottom and just highlight down to above the URL. Or does it automatically do everything?
I just tried it on one of my pages and it went to the right page.
So
You translated a page with one of your
I
blog pages.
translated into Spanish, and then what I had linked, it went to my all things page
in English or Spanish?
in English. It went into my other page, so it did go into one of my existing pages.
Well, everybody try it out so that we
Yeah.
can get the kinks worked out and bring that up on Saturday if it's still a problem.
Sounds like a plan, folks. Here's your
Sounds like a
homework.
plan.
Or you can use the study hall. We can go through that during the study hall.
Because that's coming up in now.
Coming
Just
up
about.
now.
There's a good idea. So everybody try it out and see what happens.
Okay. So does anybody have any other questions before we wrap this up?
That was awesome, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Donna. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now, and we will go to the study hall. Thank you all for